everyone, welcome to Backstory Sessions. I'm your host Matt. We hope you enjoy this episode.
Hey everybody, it's Kat, and I want to welcome you to this episode of Backstory Sessions. I'm joined today by my co-host, Matt. Hey, Matt.
Hey, Kat. Hey, everyone. How are you?
Well, happy pre-Valentine's Day.
Happy pre-Valentine's Day to you as well.
Yeah, I've been dying for this episode.
Oh, of course, I know.
Yes, because love is in the air in February for Backstory Sessions.
Yeah.
We did do, was it last year that we talked with Mike? And had that, that was our Valentine's episode. So, kind of a love story in a different way, not necessarily romantic love, but, definitely love.
No, yeah. Mike Tilbrook.
Yeah, so this is our second time of having special episodes for the season of Valentine's Day. And because Valentine's Day does not fall on Sunday, we're having a pre-Valentine's Day episode and a post-Valentine's Day episode. So half of the month of February is going to be love.
Well, you twisted my arm and I said, okay. So.
Yes. And I'm so happy that you did, because I just feel like these episodes are going to resonate with people because, most people, they've experienced love, I think.
Most people, I would guess, yes.
Yeah. And, love is like a universal language. I think all of our listeners across the world are going to appreciate these stories. And I don't know what their stories are yet, but I know that they're about connections that, just think about like all the people in the world and all the people in your lifetime that you have come in contact with.
Yeah.
Which for you is like a whole lot, but
some I can't even remember.
Yeah, that's because there's so many. However, you're not going to have a connection with every one of them. You may on some level, but not on deep levels. And so when you find that person, and it may be more than once, because people, they fall in love possibly more than once, right?
Yeah, sure.
They also can fall out of love more than once.
That's true as well.
So, but we're focusing on the positive. So, how it is when, the two people make that deep connection, find each other, that's just, how I am about that. I
know.
Love that. I love that. So,
yes, I know.
Yeah, so that's what I feel like these stories are going to be about. Do you?
I would assume. They're Valentine's Day episodes, so hopefully they're not about people, not like the anti-Valentine's Day thing. Maybe we should do that next year.
No, absolutely. When we should do that is like after prom, because everybody's like all lovey-dovey for prom, and then they break up after. So.
Isn't it like late January people start breaking up because they don't want to have to buy someone a Valentine's Day present?
Yes. So I hope that is not the case. Either of our couples have broken up, to get out of a Valentine's gift.
Yeah, that would be a long episode.
Be like, oh my gosh, I cannot believe you. Like,
You should have warned us.
go pick some flowers. I'll send some flowers. Like, we gotta, I'd be like trying to get them back together, probably.
Yeah, probably.
And you just be like, it's not my business.
That's right. Good luck to you both.
Yes. And that's all we have this week.
Right.
So,
really short episode.
well, I do know that, with our first guest we're going to talk to Monica and CW today. So Monica, her husband was killed in a car crash. And, so this story I feel like is going to be really special because, I can, like we talked about how you fall in love or become connected more than once. Like, I think when people make that connection and that feels like it's the one, like, and people get married and whatever, like, you think that's gonna be it, like, you don't think like, okay, I'm gonna find another connection. And then when a tragedy strikes like that, you must probably be left to feel like, that's my only love that I'll ever have, because that's the way you felt with that person.
Wasn't there someone on one of our other episodes that the same sort of thing happened to? It was on the reunion episode.
Yes, one of my classmates. So when we did this through the years, Tammy, her husband was also a classmate. So they were, high school sweethearts.
Right. Yeah.
And yes, he was also killed. And after some years, she was able to find love again.
Right.
And so I'm glad that you brought that up, because, that is, it's heartwarming to me and heartbreaking at the same time.
Sure.
So I just, I'm curious, like, how Monica, how she was able to move forward, and maybe, was she even expecting that she would ever meet or fall in love again?
Yeah.
A lot of people just closed down. And, even like in a lot of older couples, like there really is, like, it seems if one of them passes away, then, very shortly after the other one will as well, because.
Yeah, that's true. I've heard about that, one of them passes away, and then shortly after the other one dies, really because of a broken heart, or that
yes,
sort of thing.
Broken heart syndrome is a real thing.
Yeah.
And I mean, how great. And so that, you see, that's why I love, like, Valentine's, and more so what the love part of it all stands for is, like, how great is that to love someone so much, and to find that person that you can love that much. That's, to me, is like priceless.
Sure. No, it is. It's yeah. It'll be an interesting episode. To see how Monica manages, her way through what happened, and meets CW.
Yes, and we don't really know, like, what's CW's background. It could be similar. They could have met in a grief counseling group or anything, for all we know.
Right, and this isn't to say that, like, all the all people who fall in love meet after some sort of tragedy. We don't want to say that. I mean, It's just what happened in this case.
Yeah, because in a lot of cases, people well, I guess it's still kind of a tragedy, but people, I would say that, the older you get, probably the chances are that you're going to have been in a relationship that, didn't work out. Whether it's because of divorce or, death, or I would say divorce is probably the biggest one. If
Well,
you,
sure. I think the divorce rate is like 50%.
yeah. So, um, yes. So I guess most people are probably coming out of some kind of tragedy, but people split on good terms as well. Like they just figure, we
Yeah,
grew
true.
apart or
Yeah.
whatever. So,
Yep. Anyway.
love is complicated.
Anyway, let's let's talk to Monica and CW and find out how they met and what's happening with them.
And hear this wonderful story of love. Well, Monica and CW, I want to welcome you to this episode of Backstory Sessions. We're really excited to hear your story of love today.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, so I want to sort of start the interview before you met each other. So maybe like, I don't know, let's say pre-pandemic, just before 2020 when the pandemic starts. So Monica, like, what was life like for you at that time?
Well, I had lost my husband in a car wreck October of 2018, so I was just kind of living life to the fullest. Never expected whatsoever to find love again. I didn't think that was ever possible. Um, so I was just kind of, just to myself a lot of the time, and then I started going out and stuff. But yeah, I wrote love off completely because I didn't want it, didn't expect it, didn't think it'd happen again. Just, I was done.
So you sort of felt like with your husband that was killed in the car wreck that that was your one love that you were going to have for your lifetime.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and so I imagine during this period that was dating something like, did you want to be in a relationship, or um, did you prefer just dating, or you just didn't really want any of it?
Well, after he was killed, I was really lonely and stuff, and so I just was like friends with a lot of people, just going out. I did date a few people, but it wasn't nothing really serious, I don't guess. I just didn't it just didn't feel right to me.
Right. Um, so were you always thinking like, this is the level of love that I had, and these are just not up to that level, or?
Yes, I just after he was, after he left, I couldn't get attached to anybody.
Right.
It just, I don't know, I just wasn't letting myself, and it just didn't feel right. So I thought, I'm just, I guess, going to date for the rest of my life or be lonely because I won't never find anyone that can make me feel loved.
Okay. And so CW, I think that's a good place to, kind of hear where you were pre-pandemic, like 2019 or around that time.
I had been in a couple relationships and that had gone kind of sour. one got a little, I guess, abusive, and the other one was kind of gotten cheated on a few times, so it was a little hard to. A lot of walls and stuff had gone up, and really didn't know if they'd ever get tore back down again or not.
So had you been married before?
Yes.
And in that marriage, did you also think like that's going to be your one true love, or?
At the time, yes, but as the years kind of went on, things changed.
Yeah. And so, did you prefer just dating, or did you like being in a relationship, a more serious one?
Will the right one come along? Yes. I never did. I guess I'm one that I go in full force and the type to just give everything to that relationship, I guess.
Okay, so it sounds like both of you are having similar kinds of experiences or feelings at that time. And so how does it change? Like, how do you meet each other? CW, let's start with you this time. Like, how does it happen?
I was sitting there kind of scrolling through Facebook one night, and of course it had this suggested friends thing pop up, and I seen her profile picture, and I clicked on it, and we kind of had a mutual friend in common that I worked with, and anyway, I called him up and talked to him, and he's like, "Oh yeah, that's the one I dated for a little while." I was like, "Well," and I said, "Okay, never mind then." I said, the whole bro code and working together and everything. I'm like, "No, we're not going to go that way." He's like, "Oh no, I was like, "No," I said, "No, it's okay." I guess he had called her later on that night telling her about me, because the next day I got a friend request from her, and it just went from there.
So did the bro code go away? You got the
Yeah.
friend request?
Yeah, he. I think he's probably been one of the biggest supporters of both of us.
Well, when you got the friend's suggestion, and you clicked on her profile, so what was it about that that made you interested even enough to call the friend? What did you see in her?
Just her in general. She looked cute, and I didn't really scroll through the page too much because I don't get too in depth in people's past and histories and everything until later on.
Right. All right. So you just liked the way she looked and saw you had a mutual friend, and so took that action. All right, Monica, let's get back to your side of the story. So, did the friend call you or message you and tell you about CW's interest?
Okay, so this guy is the one that I started dating after Brian was killed. He is actually my first cousin's cousin on her dad's side.
Okay.
So, we have her a mutual cousin, friend. So, we talk all the time, and so I was driving, and he called me, and he said, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm just driving and stuff." He said, "I had a buddy ask about you," and I said, "Really?" And he said, "Yeah," and I said, "Well, who?" And he told me, and so I looked him up on Facebook. I said, "I don't know him." And so I said, "But it looks like he might have a girlfriend." And he said, "No, I don't think he does." So we talked a little bit more, and then we hung up, and I was like, I'm going to send him a friend request anyway. So I sent him one, and it wasn't a short period time after I sent it, maybe not even 5 minutes. I got a message from him. And so ever since that friend request, we've been together.
So what made you think that he had a girlfriend possibly? What did you see that made you think that?
Well, see, now I'm opposite of CW. He doesn't like scroll and he's not nosy. I'm nosy. So I went through every bit of his Facebook and I saw a few pictures of him and this girl from like months before.
Mm-hmm.
So it was actually, let's see, we met in February. So it would have been from what, 2021. And so, that's why I thought he might have had a girlfriend. And so, and I was like, hey, it's not going to matter. I mean, we might, if he don't, then, I mean, we might go out once or not, but we'll just be friends because I was just used to always keeping everybody just as a friend because I didn't want anything else. So, I don't know, but after our first date, he's like no other guy that I had ever went out with, and the rest is just history.
Well, we're going to find that history out. So, CW, you get the friend request, and then you message her. So, what do you say? What's that first message like?
I think I asked her thanks for the ad or the friend request or something like that, and I don't know. I've still got them all saved in the phone though.
Yeah.
So
how long did this, messaging conversation go on? The first one.
about a week.
Okay. And then somebody asked someone out, or what happened?
What was it? I think it was you asked something, or said you was going to go to. We was going to eat. I asked you to go eat,
he asked me to go eat, and so we went to. We met in Richmond, and I got in the truck with him, and we went to Kodo's to eat in Richmond, and 8 Days Sober, which is. Well, they're both our friends now, but they were my friends. They have their own band. They were playing at, where was it?
Cocktails 2.
At Cocktails 2 in Lexington. So, after we got done eating, we thought we'd just ride up there and, watch them. And then we did that, and when they closed down, he took me back to my car, and we just went our separate ways, and so I was like, well, I don't know if he likes me or not. I don't know if I'll ever hear from him again because, he was like, okay, I'll talk to you later. I was like, okay.
High five.
And I wasn't used to that, So,
Right.
So
what was that about?
I walked her back to her car, and we kissed her goodnight, but I don't know. I was raised a little old fashioned. I guess I still am old fashioned. It's I don't know. That's just where I was going with it, I guess, just to see if anything else would come out of it.
Did you, either one of you, feel like, okay, this is gonna be a relationship that's gonna, develop into something, or were you just like, I don't, like Monica was saying, she wasn't sure how you felt? How did you feel? Like, did you sense a chemistry or something about her that you thought, yeah, I am gonna ask her out again? Or
it was definitely something there. I mean, the whole night went good. We joked, carried on. My truck was pretty tall up in the air, and whenever we was getting ready to leave Cocktails 2, she's like, "You're going to have to grab my butt and lift me up in the thigh." I'm like, "Do what?" I've never had a girl tell me to grab her butt before.
I couldn't get up in it. And so I told him, I was like, I turned around and looked at him. He was just standing there, and I was like, "Are you going to help me?" I said, "You're going to have to put your hand on my tail and lift me up." And he was like, "Oh, okay."
Well, so even after that CW, when you drop her off for the night, you don't.
The signs were there.
It sounds like it. So Monica, you were attracted to him,
I was very much so.
and you were hoping he would, ask you out again, or so. What did happen? How long did it take? What happens next?
Well, I was going down the interstate back towards Barberville, and so I even called my friend, and I was like, I thought we had a good time, but he just dropped me off to my car and said, "Well, I'll talk to you later." I said, "I don't know if he liked me or not." And so, she was just laughing, and then I got a text. So it wasn't even 15 minutes after I had left him, and he had texted me.
And what did that say? Like, you had.
Oh, it was just saying that he had a good night and he wanted to do it again, and so yeah, that put a smile on my face. So I knew we was going back out.
Okay. And how long did that take till the next time?
Well, let's see. I had plans going out with my girls at Saturday, so he stayed with his daughter, and so we went back out that Friday because he works all week, and so we went back out Friday and Saturday. Yeah, went out Friday and Saturday. But now we did meet during the week. Like I would drive up here, and we would have a meeting spot just to talk, or we would meet at the exit at Mount Vernon, and we would just sit in our vehicle and talk. But as far as going out on a date, it was the next Friday.
Okay. And so I'm guessing that one went a little bit better.
Is that the day that you met Summer and the baby?
That was Thursday. That was a Thursday.
Actually, it was that Thursday. Yeah, it was that Thursday we went out. We went to Austin City, and I had my daughter and grandbaby with me, and they met him.
And did your daughter like him? Did you get a stamp of approval? Or was she guarded?
No, surprisingly, Summer doesn't like anybody. Like, she doesn't like anybody, and she absolutely loves Cedar. I don't know, it's just something about him. He won her right off the bat.
Well, did that make you, feel like that would be one obstacle you wouldn't have to face? Because I'm sure it would be difficult if she hated him.
Oh, yeah, because my kids, they, as you know, I mean, they mean the world to me. So their approval meant something, because if they didn't approve of him, then, it would kind of be hard to go against my kids.
And so, CW, you have a daughter?
Yes, I actually got a son and a daughter.
Okay, so when did they get to meet Monica?
What was this?
It was a
2 or 3 months.
Yeah, we had probably been dating 2 or 3 months before I met Alexis, because he gets her a week, and her mom gets her a week, to where, I have my kids all the time. Even though Summer's 23, 24, still, she's with me all the time, her and the grandbaby. So, yeah, it was a while before I met them.
And how far did you live from each other?
It's about an hour and a half drive.
Okay. So after So after everybody's met, and that seems to be going well, um, did you encounter any problems? Like, was there anyone who was against either of you dating or feeling like you maybe this wasn't going to work out? You didn't know each other well enough, or
No, everybody seems to be on board with it.
so that must have certainly helped everything. But now you have the distance, so you're an hour and a half apart. Um, as things become more serious, how long does that take until you're feeling like, maybe this is going to be a long term relationship and not just dating?
Well, I actually moved up here I moved to Lancaster from Barberville. When was it? In May. And so I let my daughter and her baby daddy and my grandbaby live in my house in Barberville, and I moved to Lancaster with him.
That's a big step. Um, were people supportive of that?
Actually, I think it was what February or Valentine's Day for me because I told you I loved you that day in your card.
Yeah, he told me on Valentine's Day that he loved me. He said it first.
Aw. So,
But no, everybody was supportive of me moving up here, and said if that's what I feel like I need to do, then because life's too short, so just go with it.
so when he said he loved you, Monica, what did that feel like? I know you said that, you had put the wall up.
She couldn't even read the card to start with, and she didn't know it was in there.
It was in a Valentine card, and I was reading it, and I saw it, and I was like, wait a minute, did I say that right? Is that what that says? I was like, but I'm telling you, like, my walls were up, but after I met him, I mean, he like just crushed them down. They like immediately just fell down.
Aw. And so CW, have you always been a romantic type? Because the Valentine seems, that seems highly romantic, and we're going to talk about your proposal shortly.
I guess I'm a little bit of a romantic or a softie. I try not to be, but
So, Monica, what is it that you like most about him?
He's a very hard worker. He's a good daddy. Um, he's just a good person. I mean, he is. Well, I mean, he's of course good looking, but he's a very good person, and he's my best friend.
Aw. And CW, what is it about Monica that you like most?
it's just everything. I mean, she's totally different, and I don't know. It's just hard to describe. She just completes me.
Aw. Well, we're going to get to the proposal, but I wanted to see, like, in all of this. So that's a big undertaking on a relationship, I would imagine, of, having to move and to live together, make all of that work out. So, did it go as smoothly as you hoped, or did you find out, some little things about each other that maybe irritate you in living together?
I don't know about irritating, but yeah, there's different things that, no two people are exactly the same. And it just takes a little bit of adjustment and getting used to.
So, Ray Dunn, let's talk about that.
Oh, gosh.
Were you ready for that?
No, I wasn't ready for that. But And I think it did. She was on one of her little hunting trips, and she was on her way home, and it wasn't even meant the way it come out, but I was like, yeah. I said, how much junk have you got? She's like, oh, so you're saying my stuff is junk? I'm like, no, that's not where it went. So yeah, it got a little bit of a heated,
I got mad.
it got a little bit of a heated discussion. But like I told her, I said, it's part of you. I want to, try to learn this, try to figure it out, and be involved with it with you. I said, not just, you don't have to keep me in the dark about it and do it on your own. And we've had some fun times while we've been out Dunn hunting.
Yeah, he'll even Dunn hunt for me. He'll get up in the morning and he'll go to the store Dunn hunting.
Aw.
What is this?
Well, it's
what is this Dunn hunting? Can you explain that?
It's a bunch of pottery stuff that's got mashed potatoes on a bowl wrote on it, so you know to put mashed potatoes in it.
Okay.
It's got a plate that says pizza, so you know to put. And don't put your tacos on it, because she gets mad if you put a taco on a pizza plate.
Lord help you.
Well, it sounds like that you were able to work through, the little things that maybe were different about you, and find a way to enjoy them together. So I'm going to tell you something that I read that a person said this is really all you need to know if the person is right for you. And then I'm going to see if you agree with that. So the person said that all you really need to know about the other person is if you are sick, will they go out of their way to go get you your favorite candy bar or drink or something to make you feel better? And will they be there to like hold your hair back if you're throwing up? So their thing was, will the person do that for me, and would I do that for that person? So do you feel like that's a fair reasoning for if that's the right person for you?
Well, he's actually done that for me. I've been like deathly ill, and he got up at like 2, I think it was 2:00 in the morning, and he went to the store and got me some medicine. And I mean, he treated me like a little baby.
Aw.
So,
Yeah.
and he knows I do the same for him.
Is that important, do you feel like, in somebody you're going to spend your life with, knowing that they're there for you like that?
I think it is.
It is.
Well, let's get to the good part, this proposal. So, CW, what was going through your mind? How did you know that you were going to propose? And when did this happen in the relationship?
She had made comments, I don't know, earlier in the relationship about how she would marry me right now and all this stuff. I'm like, this is after hearing that she never would get married again whenever we first started talking.
Sure.
And I kind of got the ball rolling, and then I don't know, we got talking about rings and stuff, and one thing led to another. I messaged a couple of her friends, and I talked to the boys in the band, and we was going to do it one night while they were playing on her birthday. And I talked to Summer about it and everything. I got Summer's permission. I got her dad's permission. I asked her. And then little Miss Sneaky and Nosy here got to snooping around or whatever and asking questions, I think, and got an idea that that's when I was going to do it. So I had to change it up because I wasn't going to let it. It was going to be a surprise. It wasn't going to be whenever she thought it was going to be.
So, Monica, were you disappointed when it wasn't when you thought it was going to be?
No, which I wasn't. I mean, I had an idea that he was going to ask me to marry him, but I didn't know when or anything. I was trying to figure it out so I wouldn't be just shocked. But
I wanted to get her nails done and her hair done. And all that
All right, so CW, how do you put all this together? And because I've seen the video and photos of it, and it's I mean, kudos to you because it's a highly romantic proposal. It's beautiful. So
I got to give all the decorating and all that stuff credit goes to her daughter Summer because she's the one that set all that up. I had no time to set all that up. Coordinating and getting it lined out was me. A couple of her girlfriends and her Summer are the ones that got it all coordinated out.
okay, and then I heard the song playing. In case you didn't know, Brett Young song. Does that have any significance, or who picked that song out?
We were just talking about songs. Me and Summer were, and mine was my pick was kind of that Ian Munsick Long Haul. I had sent it to Monica earlier and stuff, but she said that Monica liked that song an awful lot, so we went with it instead.
Aw. All right, you picked the ring out. You're there waiting. Monica, do you have any idea? Because you've been suspicious, but are you completely off guard when you walk into this?
okay, so my friend Mandy, we usually go out once a week to eat and stuff, but we hadn't been out in a while, and so she said, "Well, let's go to Amigos." She said, "Because I have to go to your house afterwards because I'm buying a purse from Summer," which I thought was funny because she doesn't carry a purse. But I was like, okay. So I drove to Barberville to meet Mandy to eat. And then she said, well, just after we got done eating, she was like, well, ride with me to go get this purse from Summer. And I thought, Mandy, I'm about 2 hours away. I need to go home. I'm tired, And she's like, just ride with me. So I left my car in town and we rode to my house in Barberville. And they had hid their vehicles out back so I wouldn't see them. And then I thought it was funny when Summer come and lifted up the garage doors and then led us into the house. I was thinking, what is going on? But I had no idea, like none at all. I was bawling like a little baby and everything.
Well, yes, because CW shouldn't be in Barberville, right? Like in your mind, he wouldn't be there.
Well, that's a funny story too because we've got I don't know since I don't know a month or so into dating we've had each other on location on our phones. So here I am trying to go down the interstate. I'm like, and then she tries to FaceTime me. I'm like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So I text Mandy. I'm like, she just tried to FaceTime me. She's like, well, pull off and go to the bathroom. I'm like, I was just at the house she see me. I didn't have I said, I'm going to take my shirt off in the bathroom at McDonald's. I said, this ain't going to work. I was like, but luckily it something other, it must have meant to be because one of the guys at work had bought something from me and I'd forgot to give it to him or send it with Monica down that way to give to him. So I was like, so I FaceTimed her back. I was like, oh, they really need this. I said, I'm just bringing it down here to them. She's like, oh, okay. Well, I'm getting ready to go eat with Mandy.
Wow. That did work out really well. All right. And so we know that she says yes. And I don't think there's probably was any doubt from anyone that was going to be the case. So
I don't know.
What
She
is
said she was going to kill me while she
if
was walking up there.
if you watch that video as I'm walking, because so when I walked in because there's two doors that you have to go through before you go in the house, from the garage. And so I heard music playing, and when we opened the last door, he was walking down the stairs, and it was dark with candles and roses and stuff. And so I put my keys over on the shelf, and I just stood there staring like, what in the world? And I started bawling. Well, when I was walking towards him, I said, I'm going to kill you. Because I was like, I was in total shock. I was not expecting it at all.
Well, that's very romantic words to be in the video. All right, Matt, what do you think about all of this so far?
It's a cute story. I mean, I'm happy that you guys were able to get past your prior relationships and all the things that happened there, and find each other. And yeah, it's a great story for sure.
Well, what can you tell us about the wedding, and what is the planning for that been like?
It is September the 14th of 2024. It's going to be at the Mills Barn in London.
Okay.
And yeah, we did not realize how expensive. And I mean, we're already, and we don't even have, like Glenn Farmer is going to be our planner. And, we've already paid a deposit for like photography and all that stuff. But there's still a lot to do. And yeah, we're really excited.
So how many people are you expecting? Is this going to be a large event, or?
It will be between 160 and 175 people.
Wow.
And CW, how involved have you been in the process of wedding planning?
A little bit, not too much. It's mainly her ordeal. As anybody knows, it's a female's day. But no, I've talked some sense into her on a couple things with a little bit of help. She was wanting a Publix wedding cake, which me and is it Glenn got her talked out of that. So
well, that's an interesting idea. So.
I mean, they had some cute ones, but it was going to be go all the way to Knoxville to get it, bring it back up here. So
yeah,
I told her, I said, the less stress you can put on yourself for that day and just enjoy it, the better off it'll be.
So do you think, for both of you, that you were meant to be?
I do.
Yes.
And that some way, if it wasn't through Facebook friend suggestion, it would have been some other way that you would have met.
I actually, if it wasn't for Facebook and for John, our friend, I don't really think that we would have even crossed paths.
Yeah, because I've been to Austin City 2 or 3 other times and had never seen her in there.
Well, what is your favorite memory together so far? Whoever wants to share first.
I'm looking at him to see what he's going to say. 'Cause I don't know. We've had so many. I mean, like, every day is like just
something different.
Yeah, we just have so much fun together. And I did take him to his first UK game because he's a U of L fan. But
Oh,
I
wow.
did take him to his first UK game, so that was exciting, really.
I had one of my first nights sleeping in the car to open up at Home Goods for Dunn hunting.
Yeah, yeah. I made him sleep in the car outside of Home Goods so that we could open that morning because we were in Michigan or somewhere. Yeah, he's traveled different states with me to go dun hunting.
Wow, you're really into this, I guess.
Oh, I am.
How much of this stuff would you say you have?
Well, when I lived in Barberville, my house I had a 2-story house.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I still have it, but anyway, it's covered, and my garage had shelves all the way around it. It was covered, and so I don't know. After like the pandemic and stuff, I was like, you know what? I don't want to collect anymore. So I sold almost everything I had,
Wow.
and through the yard sale, I probably made $30,000.
Wow.
But I had over $100,000 in my Dunn stuff.
Wow. You know, there's
Yeah.
there's probably a 12-step program for that you could go through.
That's what everybody says.
My husband's rehab.
Yeah.
But I did start hunting again and collecting again, and so my collection's growing.
Are you hunting the same things or different stuff or?
She comes out with new stuff every day.
Oh, I
Every
see.
day
Okay.
she comes out with new stuff. Yeah.
Okay. It's interesting. CW, do you have any hobbies like that? Do you collect anything or?
The only thing I'm into guns.
Oh, okay.
I do some hunting and everything like that, which I took her son this year for the first time hunting,
Mm-hmm.
and it was several years ago. I ended up getting rid of just about all my gun collection, and now I've made it to where I'm gonna buy one new one every year.
Yeah.
Thing.
I bought him one for Christmas.
Yeah, she bought me.
I did. I surprised him with one that he wanted for Christmas.
Oh, that's cool. Does he surprise you with new plates that say pizza or something?
He actually, for Christmas, he bought me a set of blue measuring cups that I wanted, that I had sold mine, and I wanted them back. And so, like in the store, they're $16.99,
Right.
but the blue ones, yeah, he paid $250 for them. So I was very excited to get those.
Aw. Well, that must be love because, that's quite a gift. So how do you both think it's going to feel to be married versus just in the committed relationship that you're in now and engaged?
We considered ourselves married already. So, I mean, I don't think it's going to be any different.
We treat everything as it's like we are as it is.
Yeah.
My stuff
Well-
is his and his stuff is mine. And then, our kids are one. His children are my children and my children are his children. So,
How
So
long?
it sounds like that it'll just be a day of celebration with your friends and family.
yes.
All right, 20 years from now, what do you think when you look back is going to be, are you still going to feel this way? Do you think you're going to feel differently in 20 years? What is it about love that you are so pleased to have found?
My love grows every day for him. So, I can't imagine in 20 years that it's going to be, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to be in love with him just as much in 20 years as I am now.
We'll probably still be picking and joking with each other like this. That's the big thing with us is, with her, I think, is she she can take my aggravating and dish it out at the same time. Just as much as I do.
It sounds like you're going to need some additional room for your collection if that continues over. Do you think that will in 20 years you'll still be collecting Dunn and guns or something else?
Well, actually, next year, because we were going to start building this year, but because of the wedding and stuff, we're going to put it off to next year. We're actually building a barn dominium.
Oh, wow.
That'll be cool.
It's got a room designed with a sign going above the door that actually says Dunn and Guns.
Dunn and Guns.
That's where they're all going.
Wow. See, I must be like a psychic or something. I could know that. Well, this is a fascinating story, and I think it's. What's your advice out there for people that felt like you did before you met each other? That there's just no hope. You're going to be alone forever. What's your advice?
Well, I've had some girls that are friends on my Facebook, and they're like, "I'm so happy for you. I wish it happened, for me." And I said, when you least expect it, that's when you'll find love. And it is, because
you can't force it, and you can't try to find it. It just, I don't know, it just happens. Yeah.
So you would advise people just to go on with their, would you advise them to just be out there dating and, looking or putting themselves out there, but not expecting that they're going to find love just because they're doing that?
Right.
Yeah, I think, continue dating, going out and, going out with friends or whatever, and just don't, when you meet somebody, don't say, okay, I'm going to make this work. It just comes naturally. If it's meant to be, it will come naturally. You won't have to force yourself to do nothing.
Well, I've enjoyed this interview and getting to know more of the story. Matt, you have any last words?
No,
questions?
No. I really appreciate you guys coming by and telling us how you met and all the things that you've kind of gone through since you've been together, and now you're going to have a wedding, and that's really cool.
Well, thank you guys for asking us to be on here.
Oh, Kat's a big fan of love stories, and it
yes,
sounds like
I am, and this one will be a great one for Valentine's Day. So that was your first kiss, I think you said, or the first time he said he loved you?
Yeah, that's the first time he said that he loved me.
So how are you going to top that this year, CW, or is that a secret?
I've had, the wheels have been turning, but sometimes.
Yeah, so our episode will be, just a couple of days before Valentine's Day, but we hope that will add to your memories always as you hear and are able to listen back to the story. And the listeners, I'm sure, are going to love Matt as the title master. So I can't speak for him, but I feel like this one is going to be named Dunn and Guns.
Maybe. All right, well, we thank you for coming by and being on, and we will, we're looking forward to talking to you again and finding out what happens down the road,
All right, thank you. We appreciate you.
All right, take care.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
As always, if you have any questions, concerns, or comments, you can send those to Kat at iwriteplease@outlook.com, or you can write to me at backstorysessions@gmail.com or Matt at level11ventures.com. Thanks for listening, and we'll talk to you soon. Take care.